the NBA has just finished their seeding. We have all of the seeds of the play-in and the playoffs. So at number 1 we have for the West OKC, number 2 Nuggets, number 3 Wolves, number 4 Clippers, number 5 Mavericks, number 6 Suns, number 7 Pelicans, number 8 Lakers, number 9 Kings, and number 10 Warriors. For the East, we have number 1 Celtics, number 2 Knicks, number 3 Bucks, number 4 Cavaliers, number 5 Magic, number 6 Pacers, number 7 Philly, number 8 Heat, number 9 Hawks, and number 9 Bulls, and number 10 Hawks. So I'm going to be predicting all of the seeding and stuff starting with the play-in. So for the 9-10 game, I have the Warriors winning the Kings because the Kings lately have not been doing well, and I believe Steph Curry could pull out like in last year's series win and win the Kings. Kings lost also two of their best offensive players, at least for the guard position, with Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk. And so they have like Keon Ellis and Davion Mitchell playing heavy minutes. Now both are pretty good at defense, but I believe their offense might not be as good because of Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter's injuries. And the Warriors have been playing really well in the past like 30 games. So I got the Warriors winning the Kings. Next for the Pelicans versus Lakers, I got the Lakers winning. The Lakers just beat the Pelicans today. So this is like a rematch kind of the last day game. And the Lakers won, and I believe they will win again because Anthony Davis. I don't know who will help stop Anthony. Playing is super hard because there is a lot of factors. Only a one game too, so any team can do really good in that game. So this will be peak hoops. Next for the East, I got the play-in. The Heat versus Sixers. I have the Sixers winning. Placed them in the wrong seed. They're the 7th seed actually, but I have the Sixers because Joel Embiid back along with Tyrese Maxey. They have been a force this year when healthy. So I have them beating the Sixers. Though the Sixers beating the Heat because Jimmy hasn't been doing that good this season. But for the Hawks Bulls games, I have the Bulls winning. DeMar DeRozan, Kobe White could do good. Caruso could guard Trae Young. And Trae just came back from injury. Hasn't been doing that well the past few games when back from injury, so I have the Bulls winning. Finally, I have the Heat winning the Bulls. Just like last year, they beat the Bulls. And this year, I feel like Jimmy, he usually in the first game has to take, they lost to the Hawks in the first time last season in the play-in. But I think they'll win the second game. Jimmy will be more locked in. This is their season. Eric Spoelstra, one of the best coaches, and the Bulls, have been doing well recently. So I have the Heat winning and going to the AC. Let's go to the playoff. My playoff predictions. So I have the OKC Thunder versus the Golden State Warriors. I have the OKC Thunder winning in 6 games or 7 games, but it's going to be a hard series for OKC. They, although don't have that much experience, I feel like they do have the defense to stop Steph Curry in a series. And Warriors, although they haven't been doing great lately, they haven't been doing good this before, so their record isn't that good. And I believe this is the final straw for their dynasty. Now, Stephen Curry will definitely do good, but he definitely needs help. While OKC, Shea is one of the most consistent players, and also he has a really good core around him, like Chet, J-Dub, who could turn great. While Warriors, it's a little bit more hit and miss. You have Klay Thompson, who's inconsistent. Draymond Green, is solid, but he can't really help on offense. Jonathan Kuminga and other players. The Warriors' rotation just has been pretty inconsistent in general. So I have the OKC Thunder winning in 6. Next, I have Clippers Mavericks. Clippers winning in 7 in a really tight 7-game series. Mavericks have been insanely great lately. Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic showing that they can partner together create a really good team. Their depth is amazing, especially Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively at the center positions, and PJ Washington. But I have the Clippers winning because although the Mavericks do have a great defense, they don't really have a really great individual defender for Kawhi. Now, Derrick Jones Jr. and PJ Washington are good defenders, but Kawhi, playoff Kawhi, don't know if people forgot, has been averaging 30 points since 2017 and averaging 32 points versus the Mavericks. And then if Kawhi does bad, PG, Russ, Harden, Zubac can all do good. But this will be a hard series because Luka is probably going to average like 35. He's been really great against the Clippers defense, which has been average. And Kyrie might do well too. But if I was the Clippers, I would put Kawhi or PG on Luka. And the Clippers really like switching, so this is going to be a great matchup. Part 3 of the Clippers Mavericks series since 2020. And let's go on to the next matchup. We have the second seeded Nuggets versus the 7th seeded Lakers. I have the Nuggets winning this in 6 games. Not going to be a sweep like last season because this time the Lakers have a greater supporting cast than last season. Players like, Cam Reddish has been helping, but also D'Angelo Russell has been hitting a greater player than last year. Now, if the Lakers need to win this series, they need the Lakers to have D'Angelo Russell do well, as well as Austin Reeves, and LeBron James and AD has to do well also. Now, last year they got swept by the Nuggets, but this year Nuggets don't have Bruce Brown, and their bench is a little bit lackluster. But Jamal Murray is going to turn it up. The Lakers' perimeter defense has been too good, as well as of course, Nikola Jokic, probably a 3-time MVP, going to go do work on the Lakers. Even Anthony Davis, who is an all-defense type player, probably won't be able to guard him, so the Lakers have to definitely do a lot of game plan on Jokic to be able to win. So I have Nuggets in 6. Wolves Suns, I surprisingly have Suns upsetting the Wolves in 7. Bradley Beal lately has been doing really well and showing his defense, as well as Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. The Wolves, they are really good. Cat is back now, which is going to be hard to guard for the Suns, as well as Anthony Edwards being a monster in the playoffs, but their offense has been not good. And the Suns' defense has been okay, not that good, but their offense is also pretty good. Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, and Kevin Durant are going to do well, maybe. And if one of them does well or two of them, that's going to be a hard test for Minnesota, even though if their defense is number 1 right now. But, of course, Minnesota can win this series too. It is a really close series, I believe, because Minnesota's defense is really good. Insanely good. So they might be able to lock up all 3 of the players. And Suns, have been horrible on fourth quarter play. So it's going to be a hard task winning in 7. Let's go to the East. I have the Celtics versus Heat. I have the Celtics winning in 6 because, this year is a different year for the Heat. Although they have been really good, this is just a whole different Celtics team. The Heat won the Celtics in 7 games last season, but this is a whole different Celtics team. Jrue Holiday is going to provide great defense on the Heat, versus the Heat, And Kristaps Porzingis is going to be great on offense and defense. I don't know who's going to guard him because, Bam is a great defender, but that leaves Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown with, and then Derek White, they got a great defense as well that can help stop Jimmy Butler, even though it's playoff Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. I feel like Heat's offense isn't that good either, so I have the Celtics winning, even with playoff Jimmy. Cavs Magic, I have the Cavs winning in 6 because of Magic's offense isn't that good. Cavs defense is one of the best as well, so I feel like Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland can help the Cavs beat the Magic because, the Magic are also inexperienced. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, in their first series, and most of the Mavs score also in their first series. All right, so now we have the Knicks Sixers. This is a really tough series because Embiid with the Knicks, I feel like the Knicks won't be able to guard Embiid that well, but same with the Sixers with Brunson. It's going to be a really hard fought series. It can go either way because Embiid with the Sixers have been really good. 8 wins in a row when Embiid came back, I believe. Their record would have been really good, probably a top 3 seed if Embiid was still healthy. So I believe the Sixers have a really great chance, but we also have to count in the fact that Doc Rivers is coaching there, and Joel Embiid has not done well in the playoffs, especially with a really good defense in the Knicks. So I have the Knicks winning in 7. Jalen Brunson has been really good, averaging 28 the whole season. In the previous 10 games, averaging 35 or something. Shown he's a playoff riser in the Mavericks and Knicks last season. Averaged 30 points versus the Heat and was really good in that Cavs series as well. Knicks also a really well depth team, even with Julius Randle out, and have one of the best defensives. So I have them winning the Sixers. Finally, we have Bucks Pacers. I have the Bucks winning in 6 because of the Pacers' horrible defense. Now, Pacers beat the Bucks 4 times this season compared to the Bucks only beating them once. But that's the regular season and in-season tournament. I have the Pacers winning. Losing to the Bucks because of, I feel like they don't have any stoppage of Giannis, although Siakam is there, probably their best player to have to stop Giannis. They won't really have anyone else to stop Giannis. Combined with Dame Lillard, who although hasn't been good this season, it will take a heroic effort on offense for the Pacers to win, but Doc Rivers led team is, not as good. Yeah, for the Sixers, I forgot Nick Nurse is the coach now, not Doc Rivers. Sorry for that. Still out the Knicks winning because of Embiid's playoff shortcomings, but for the going back to the Bucks versus Pacers, I have the Bucks winning, even though Doc Rivers coaching Damian Lillard hasn't done well, because Doc Rivers coaching their defense usually is pretty decent. So I believe, Halliburton's probably gonna cook, but his still doesn't have that much experience in the playoffs. I believe this is his first playoff series, so I have the Bucks winning. Next, in the conference semifinals, Clippers Thunder. I have the Clippers winning in 7 because of Clippers having a little more experience than the Thunder. And I feel like the Thunder, although they have a pretty good defense, I don't know who's going to stop Kawhi Leonard. They have Lou Dort, but, they still need James Harden, Paul George. So, yeah, but also Clippers, it's going to be really hard to guard Shea. They don't really have a perimeter stopper like that, and Shea is really different. One of the best offensive players in the league. So it's going to be hard for who is going to stop who. But this will be a great series. I just have Clippers because of their experience a little, And Nuggets versus Suns. I have the Nuggets winning in 6. Nuggets already beat the Suns last year. And this year, the Suns are not going to have anyone to guard Jokic at all. Murray either. And Nuggets, they don't have 3 defenders to guard Booker, Beal, and Durant, but their defense is still solid. And, sometimes Booker, Durant has a bad game in the playoffs. Beal, also is all right in the playoffs, but, nothing too good. So the Nuggets, their defense is going to be their key to winning because their offense is going to be guaranteed to be pretty good because Jokic is going to drop a crazy stat line probably against Nurkic. Nurkic is not known as a good defender. Now, he's a decent defender, but he's not like a defensive player that can contain Jokic. I have for the Eastern Conference, Boston versus Cavs. Boston winning in 6. Cavs have not been doing too good lately after the All-Star break. So I have the Celtics winning. Cavs defense is pretty good, but their offense, Celtics have a great defense as well, combined with Jason Tatum, stuff like that. I don't know who's gonna guard Tatum, Brown, all that stuff. So I have the Cavs winning. I mean losing to the Celtics. I have the Celtics winning. Bucks Knicks. I have the Bucks winning in 7. Now this is a hard series to test because Damian Lillard and Doc Rivers are not a good recipe to get a conference final, but I believe in Giannis. Giannis has been really good, and although not in the playoffs, he's been somewhat good, somewhat bad. I believe they have a good chance to win the Knicks because the Knicks, although they have a pretty good defensive team, I don't really know who's gonna guard Giannis and Brook Lopez because they have, you know, not really a really long big defender. Maybe OG on Giannis, but it's gonna be hard for the Knicks to contain Giannis. Now they probably have all the players for Dame because they have a lot of great players. And Brunson might cook, but I still have the Bucks winning. And then finally, conference finals, we have Nuggets Clippers in the West. I have the Nuggets winning because Ivica Zubac is a great defender, but Jokic still probably do some great plays, and their perimeter defense is a bit shaky with James Harden. There, Terrence Mann is pretty good, but not like super good. And Jamal Murray, playoff Jamal is really good. But this can go either way because Kawhi Leonard is a great player, and find it hard for the Nuggets to be able to lock down so many good offensive players. But I feel like Jokic is going to lead them to a victory in 7. Boston Bucks, Boston in 6. Celtics are going to win this because, Dame hasn't been good in the playoffs before. And, Bucks haven't been doing really well lately. So I have the Celtics winning. Feel like the Bucks defense isn't that good either. So it's going to be really hard for them to contain like Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, for Zingas even. Now they have Giannis and Brook Lopez for the taller players, but it's going to be hard for like Giannis to contain Tatum or Brown. But that's going to be a great series. The East and the playoffs are going to be great. Nuggets, Celtics in the finals. I have the Celtics winning because I feel like the Celtics bench is better, the depth, especially their starting 5, and I feel like the Nuggets defense might be a bit shaky compared to the Celtics, who have a great defense and offense. So I feel like the Celtics could, they have Porzingis for defense on Jokic, not the best, but he's a pretty tall player. As well as definitely a great amount of defense on the perimeter. All of their top starting 5 is a good defender. Drew Holiday and Derek White are probably all defensive players. Tatum and Brown are not that bad at defense as well. So it's going to be pretty hard for the Nuggets to get the offense going with the defenders, like especially Derek White and Jaylen Brown. Drew Holiday. So I have the Celtics winning.